Welcome to the Game and Party channel. I'm Mike Davis, and in this video we're going to take a look at the card game 7 and 7. 7 and 7 is from Infinity Games. It plays from 2 to 5 players, about 15 to 20 minutes, and is for ages 13 and up. The designer is Corey Goff. And I'd like to give a big thanks to Infinity Games for giving us a copy of the game to show to you guys. And we're giving away a copy of this game, along with lots of other games. Check the link in the description below. So let me show you how it plays, and I'll give you my thoughts on it at the end. Alright, 7 and 7 is a card game, so you're going to get a deck of cards, of course. And these player aids, they're double-sided, so these are nice. They kind of tell you what the powers on the cards are, which is great, so have these handy for your players. In the game, you're going to shuffle up the deck, you're going to deal out 5 cards to each player, and you're going to have a draw pile in the middle of the table. Out of the 5 cards you get dealt, you can play one of those cards on your turn. Now the nice thing about this game, the neat thing about this game is you can actually play a card for either side. There is, for example, this one has Pride, or you can play it as Humility. So if you want to play it as Humility, you play it there and you read the Humility side out loud, do the action on it. If you want to play the Pride side, you turn it over and you do that side. And you're trying to get 7 different items in front of you, either 7 sins or 7 virtues in front of you. So either way, you have them like this, or you have them the other way with the sins. So you're trying to get 7 of different ones in front of you. You're trying to collect all 7 different kinds. So let's go over some of the cards to show what these do. So on a player's turn, you're going to play a card from your hand and then draw a card from the deck to end your hand. Or you can pass, say I don't want to play any cards, and just draw 3 cards from the deck. Alright, the first is Humility. If you play Humility, you may play an additional card from your hand this turn. If you do, you choose an opponent to do the same thing at the end of your turn, but you ignore that card's ability. So they could play another, say they play Humility, they don't get to play a second card if they play Humility. On the other side of the card, we have Pride. And with Pride, you may play an additional sin this turn. So it must be played as a sin. You can't play just any card you want. Next is Temperance. With this, you get to look at the top 3 cards of the draw pile. Choose one to place into your hand, not on the table, but in your hand, and discard those other 2 cards. The other side here is Gluttony. You just draw another card with that one. Next is Kindness. You convert a card you have in play. Kindness cannot be blocked. When you convert a card, basically what you're doing is you're taking a card and you're rotating that card to the other side. So instead of being a virtue, it could be turned into a sin or vice versa. The other side of the card from Kindness now is Envy. Envy, a card, you can copy an ability from either side of an opponent's card in play. So basically I say I'm going to copy your charity card, your greed card here, and that effect is in effect until the end of your turn. And Charity here says that you may play an additional card from your hand this turn. And the other side here is Greed. And with Greed, you choose an opponent, take 1 card from their play area and put it in your play area, and you may convert it when you take it. So if you take a card from them, you can choose which side to put up in front of you. Next is Patience. Patience, you may put this card into play from your hand after an opponent converts a card in play. So basically, you got to pay attention to what's going on in the game. If someone converts a card like this, you say, oh, I'm playing Patience, boom, and you put this out. So you got to pay attention to other people's turns when you have this card in hand. And the other side of Patience is Wrath. Choose an opponent, discard a card they have in their play area. That's a mean one. You can just take one of the cards and discard it out of their play area. Next is Diligence. With Diligence, you put a card from the discard pile in your play area. You ignore the ability, but you just get to basically take that card from the discard pile and put it in your play area. And then the next one here is Sloth. Sloth, at the end of your turn, if you have 4 or more sins in play, you may immediately play this card from your hand. So if you've got, let's say you've got 2 cards in front of you, you play one that lets you play another card, and you play another card, now you have 4, now you can play this one. So you can get 3 or 4 cards out of your hand at one time. And the next one is Chastity. Chastity, you play this card only during opponent's turn. You block a card from coming in play. So they're like, I'm going to play this card here. You play Chastity, you say, nope, I'm blocking that, and they can't play that card. Lust, you can convert up to 2 cards in play that are not in your play area. So this will be in other people's areas on the game. You also have wild cards like this that have powers on them. This one says you can choose a player. You may convert a virtue they have in play. Then you discard the top card of the draw pile, then choose a card in the discard pile and put it in your hand. These are wild, so this can count as any one of the sins in the game. There are other wild cards like this here. This one is a wild and can be played as a virtue or as a sin and can be converted. There are wild virtue cards also. So this one, it says choose a player. You may convert a sin they have in play, then draw a card. So let me show you an example of a round here. So let's say I've got this wild card in play and I come along and I say, all right, I'm going to play this card here, Pride. It says I may play an additional sin this turn, so I'll play another card. And it says I can choose an opponent and take a card from their area. So let's say I take Envy from the area, put it here. And then I have a card here that says at the end of your turn, if you have 4 or more sins in play, you may immediately play this card. Boom. And so I've got 4 cards out in one round. So you can really get a lot of cards out in one round if you chain them together correctly. That's it, guys. That's the game 7 and 7. So I'll give you my thoughts on this game. This is a mean game. You are literally taking cards from somebody. You may have the exact card in your hand you're going to play to win the game. You're like, yes, I got this game in the bag. It comes to your turn, and you go to play a card. Someone goes, nope, I'm blocking that card. Oh, and that's very frustrating. Or you may have, 3 sins all set up ready to go, or maybe you've got 6 and you just need 1 more, and someone plays a card to convert one of yours, and someone plays another card to convert one. Now you have 2 virtues and 3 sins instead of the 5 sins. So it can be very frustrating. But the game only takes about 15-20 minutes to play. It's not that big a deal. If you get to the bottom of the deck, if the whole deck runs out, then the game's over anyway, and whoever has the most sins or virtues wins. There's a tiebreaker in there also. But this is a game, if you don't like playing games where you're mean to each other, don't play this game. If you like playing card games with your friends where you get to do a lot of take that, this is the game for you. If you like take that games, this is definitely that kind of game. I would recommend it for that type of environment there. The cards, these are good quality cards. They're nice and slick and glossy. I like these cards a lot. The box is really nice. It's even got that nice finish on there with the shiny finish. This is really well done production quality wise. So great game there. So again, that is from Times Infinity Games. Again, thanks to you guys for letting us have a copy of the game to show off here. And again, we are giving away a copy of this game, this actual copy right here, and a lot of other games. So check the description below to a link where you can go sign up to win a bunch of games. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, check out our podcast, and you can find us on all of our social media sites on gameandparty.com. See you on the next video.